Welcome to your journey of healing with the Healing Podcast, hosted by licensed clinician Monique Owe and co-host Dr. Amber Mohn.
Thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast. I am your host, Monique Owe, and I am joined by my lovely co-host here,
Dr. Amber Mohn.
Okay, today's topic is the GPS of Career and Motherhood. So, talking today about basically having to navigate having a career and also being a mom. So, Dr. Mohn, let me throw it to you first. What is it like to have to navigate being a mom and your career, all that comes with it?
Monique, is a special type of task. It is. Your child. I mean, it's rewarding to be a mother. It's also tough, whether you have a job or not. But a career, social worker, doctor, nurse, attorney, judge, police officer, whatever you want, whatever career you want to say, it's tough to, be out there and to be successful and to come home and to be a successful mother. And so, and I think that, and I'm not going to say that it's not tough being a father, but because I'm a mother and I'm here speaking today, then, we'll talk on, that. But, we're, as women, we're nurturers. We do those things that, only a woman can do.
Only those little things. Yep.
And then we have to wear a different hat outside of the home. And I guess just, combining the two, making sure that we're burning the candle on both ends is tough.
Well, I mean, it can, because you definitely want to take care of your children, right?
Yes.
That's a given. You're definitely going to do that. And you love your children, right? That's a given.
Yes.
But you want to be successful in your career too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to assume you need your career so you can take care of your children too, right? Even if the father is there and you're together, it's still it's both of you guys, right? But trying to navigate all that and make sure you're taking care and you're present for your children, that you're paying attention to them, making sure, are they sick? Are they allergic to this? Wait a minute, you need this, and then you need some new shoes, but you need a new shirt. You're trying to do all of that, but you're also but you have this report due for work. But no, and so your supervisor said, you know this report has been due, and you're like, oh gosh, but I got to run home because my baby has a temperature, right? So it's trying to figure out, how do I be mom, but then flip mode, be career woman, right? How do I do both? And I think that's the struggle, Dr. Mohn. I don't think it's, sometimes I don't know if you need to do both in one time. And I'm not saying you don't work while you're being a mom. I'm saying sometimes you don't have to maybe equal both out. Sometimes you might be more present at home as mom versus at the job. And you just might need to be honest. Hey, I'm not going to be able to do those extra reports because this week is a big week for your children or your child, right? And then maybe one week it might be, listen, guys, y'all going to be with dad because mommy has some extra stuff to do at work. And I need to be there some extra hours. So I think sometimes, I don't know if you need to make it all equal. I think sometimes it's like a seesaw, Dr. Mohn, and you tell me. Sometimes you are more present there versus here and vice versa. Would you agree with that, or you think, no, that's wrong?
No, I definitely agree. And I think that you have to kind of gauge, what's going on. But I know that, when I was, first starting out, I had to put a lot on, my husband. He had to teach himself how to cook.
Talk about
because, I couldn't do it, but I felt like at the time, I needed to get my career off the ground. But as soon as I got things set, then things shifted.
Okay.
I made my presence more at home, than I did at work. It doesn't mean that I neglected my work, but I stopped at 4:00. Whatever didn't get done, before 4 would get done the next day. And then I was, at home making sure that doing what my responsibility for my family,
I like that.
was. So.
I like that, Dr. Mohn. So you had a hard stop. You were like, wait, hard cutoff at 4. No, I'm not staying 30 minutes later. It's hard cutoff at 4.
Yes.
I like the way you did that. You created a boundary where, nope, this is the cutoff, right? And I like that you said in the beginning you had to rely on your husband. Like, look, you're going to have to learn how to do this because I'm not going to be able to do this, right?
Yes.
And I like that he stepped up and did it, apparently, right?
Yes.
I think what I'm going to say, let me give a little quick mention, because I know everybody might not be with the father of their children, right? Mm-hmm. You might be a single mom out there. And let me just mention something real quick, too. There's nothing really to do with this particular topic. But let me say, for those people who out there who assume that because a woman is a single mom, that she did something irresponsible, please don't do that. And please stop doing that, because you don't know what that woman's situation was and why she is a single mom. Okay? And guess what? If it is because in your mind she just keeps having different children with different men, then why don't you give her some counsel, some help, and then instead of her some judgment? But I'm gonna talk to the other ones. What if her husband passed away? What if her partner passed away, the father of the children? What if he's in a situation where he can't be here anymore? What if it got to something legal where he had to be deported, not because of bad thing, but because of some paperwork issues, and he had to be deported? So don't assume of every woman that has a child and you see them by themselves is because they were irresponsible and they need to figure things out. No, that's not fair to say. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. I just don't like when that happens, right? I think it's just unfair to do that. But going back to having the balance, I think the issue with women is we juggle a lot. Is when we juggle a lot, right?
Yes.
It's the beauty of a woman in a way, because we can, and we have a certain touch, but then another way can be a little stressful. And I think we always feel like we have to be superwoman.
Yes.
Okay? And I feel, or actually I know, you cannot be superwoman. You know why? One, that was a character. Just one, that was a character. But two, you're just not, because guess what? You're human. Yep, you might be a strong woman, you might be all those things, but you don't always have to be that. And I don't think as a mom you have to be that. You just have to balance it in a way that's good for you. See, what balances me may not balance you as a woman, right? What balances Dr. Mohn as a mother may not balance the next. Another person might say, no, I need to take a leave of absence.
Yes.
I left work for a little while. That's fine. Another person might say, no, I needed to work and be a mom because that's how I did things. It's no one formula, Dr. Mohn, would you say, isn't it? Can it be done multiple ways?
It can be done multiple ways, Monique, and we've seen it done multiple ways. But I've also seen, women have miscarriages, have heart attacks, and other things because they're trying to be superwoman.
Superwoman. Yep. Doing too much, putting too much on yourself, trying to be everything for everybody, including the mom.
Yes.
Even if you're carrying, you gotta slow down a bit. Now I know, listen, I understand women work through terms. Sometimes they work all the way to the very last day, and I get it. Sometimes you have to, right? But if you don't have to, you know what the balance is? Don't.
Yes.
If you are able to take a seat and let people help you, let them help you. Okay? Don't get this pride. I got it myself. I'm going to do it myself because my mom did it. I know my mom did it. And she carried all of us. My mom has 5 children and she worked. Listen, first of all, you were not born to see it. That's what your mom told you she did. Okay? And then, but you were not there. You were not born yet. But even if she did it, that was your mom. And it's a different time. This is 2022. I'm sure your mom was born before 2022 when she carried you, right? Whole different era. So what I'm saying is stop trying to make yourself be someone that you might not be. And that's okay. And I think you can do both. You can love your children and you can be a great career woman. You can decide to step away from work and focus on the children. You can decide to say, you know what, kids, I'm going back to work. I won't be here as much. That is okay. I don't think that makes you a bad person. Before we get into ways you can balance, Dr. Mohn, we'll make a little quick segue here. You guessed it. Going into the situation. Dr. Mohn, what's our situation for today?
Okay, Monique. This situation is taken from an online post. So here we go. Last Saturday, I got married. During the first dance, I was so in awe of how stunning and beautiful my wife was, I couldn't keep my hands off her. I kissed her and caressed her throughout the dance. She's been upset with me since. We are on our honeymoon. She has given me the cold shoulder. She told me to sleep on the couch. When I refused, she left our bed and went on the couch. She locked the bedroom, gave me the silent treatment, and tried to eat. I tried to eat with her, but she claimed to not be hungry. However, as soon as I go somewhere, she eats alone. I finally mustered the courage to ask, what the hell did I do wrong? Why is she treating me like an outcast? I'm her husband. We love each other. She told me I embarrassed her by kissing her throughout the dance. She had relatives there from overseas. Our siblings, parents, and other family were all there. There were kids around. She thought I should have had more self-control. When I asked why she didn't say anything, she told me she pulled away from me several times, but kept bringing her cheek to my face, forcing her to kiss me when I clearly should have noticed that she was uncomfortable. I want to know if I was wrong for kissing her throughout our dance. If so, how can I make it up to her? Wow. I appreciate you for writing into us today.
No, that was something I saw. I just saw that
yes, yeah. My goodness. I would say that, you were in the moment. You were in awe of your wife. She looked beautiful. This is probably something that, when you're in awe of your wife, you typically do. And I personally feel like that's what weddings are for. To, express your love in front of everybody. And so I hate that she was uncomfortable. And I really think that if you did know that she was uncomfortable, you would have done that. You seem like a respectable person who just loves your wife. So I think that it was an honest mistake. And, I think I think the only reasonable way to make it up to her is just to say that I'm sorry. But I wouldn't beat myself over it, because at the end of the day, you were just trying to express your love to your wife. And if anything, to get her to see that, you were in awe, and that you wouldn't dare try to offend her or embarrass her in front of her family and friends. You were just in the moment. So I'm going to leave it at that, Monique.
Thank you, Dr. Mohn. Appreciate that feedback. Yep. Here's what I'll say to a situation like this. Now, again, I saw this online, but if anybody's facing something like this, first of all, for that situation, let me say this. You're married now. The beauty that your husband sees the moment they see you, right, it's amazing. You have to know it from a man's standpoint. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm not a man. So what they see or what they feel at that moment is just tremendous love. And it seems like the wife is more worried about what people were saying. Who cares? They don't even live there. You said these are relatives will come from overseas. Like, they going to be living at your house. Who cares? So what? The kids, they okay. I'm pretty sure you guys weren't naked on the dance floor. So they're going to see somebody kiss somebody one day. I think they're okay. They probably not even thinking about you or know what they really saw anyway. I think for the wife, you need to stop tripping. But you realize you have a man that loves you, that chose to marry you, and enjoy each other. For the husband, only thing you can do is ask her, what can you do to make it up to her? But her doing this whole cold shoulder thing and not talking to you, I think that's crazy. I don't think you need to be a doormat here. I think you need to express to her, like, look, I love you. I was in awe of you. I just wanted to show my affection, but I am sorry for offending you or hurting your feelings, embarrassing you, in your word. But I'm your husband. It's us right now. It's not them. And I think you saying that is just enough. Say sorry, but remind your wife, we are a couple now. This ain't about everybody else. It's about you and I, how we going to navigate. But I see that public affection really disturbs you, which I'm kind of questioning that too, because see, y'all got married. It's no, how she is and whatever. I just think she's in her head and she needs to get out of it. But you say sorry and that's it. Ask her what she would like to make it up to her. But don't accept that cold shoulder too much longer. You got to tell her, we're going to have to start talking now. This is enough of this, and that's it. Respectfully, but stern, I feel like, in that instance, okay? I hope no one else is going through that. Anyway, if you would like to ever share your situation with the Healing Podcast, write support at thehealingpodcast.com or go to thehealingpodcast.com website, hit the contact tab. Wait, hold on. Going back to that situation, I just can't believe. Why are we tripping over something like that? I don't even understand.
At the honeymoon.
Right. Gosh. Yeah. I don't understand. What is going on here? Since when was getting love from your husband, or vice versa if it was your wife? When is that a problem? Did anybody even say anything to you? Did anybody even say anything? Anyway, okay. Back to this. A word from our sponsor, Healing Expressions.
Are you someone who has been considering therapy? Perhaps someone else has told you that you need to talk to a therapist. Or maybe you're in a relationship and you want to discuss some challenges that you've been facing with your significant other. Maybe there's a communication issue, perhaps an incident of infidelity. Or maybe you just want to strengthen your relationship because you guys are thinking about taking another step. Maybe you're struggling with anxiety or depression, perhaps grief, life stressors, and you just want to share your thoughts with someone. Well, consider contacting Healing Expressions. Healing Expressions is a private practice located in the Atlanta, Georgia area. You will be given a session at an affordable price with a licensed therapist. If this resonates with you, consider going to healingexpressionsllc.com, reading about the practice, and hitting the contact tab to see if you can book a session. All right, thank you so much. And back to the Healing Podcast.
Okay, so back to the episode of the GPS of Career and Motherhood. Well, Dr. Mohn, I think moms very much want to be the image of perfect. I know it's no perfection, but I think moms want to get it right. No one wants to hear that they were a bad mom, right?
Absolutely.
Does it exist?
No, not at all. Never will.
So my question, Dr. Mohn, since it doesn't exist, why put all that pressure?
Good question, Monique. That's just what, I think a lot of strong women do who have careers. They want both. They want to feel needed at both, work and at home. They feel good when they're able to perform, both places at top tier performance. And, that's just, it's not possible.
Okay. Just want to perform well, want to do well. Okay. Yes. That makes sense. Listen, here's what I'm going to say. You're going to always be mom, even when your children grow up. That's not going to change, right? So realize, and mistakes are going to happen. There's no handbook, I promise. There are handbooks and books, but there's no perfect handbook. Tell you, this is how you perfectly raise your children. That doesn't exist, okay? So do the best you can. That's what you're doing. How do you navigate both? Realize that you're human, right? Realize that you are the person, one, who somehow are nurturing this child. You are the person who's pouring into this child. Recognize that. Or to your children. Remember that. That's the first balance. Remember, you need help. Single mom or not, you still need help. You need the daycare. You need a friend to watch the baby or take them to the practice one day. You need your husband to balance. Like the balance, you need help. So stop thinking that you don't need help. I do this all by myself. No, you cannot. I promise you cannot. You didn't even have the baby by yourself, okay? Somebody was in that room. Even if somebody was coaching you, push, or if it was a C-section, somebody had to go ahead and operate. If it was an adoption, somebody from the agency had to help you get this baby. Something happened. If you had to take on the care of somebody else's child, well, something had happened with them for you to get that child. So you need help. That's the first balance I'm going to say. Career, yes, you worked hard for it. Work for your career, but also take a balance. Realize you can't work all the time. You might need to have that hard cut off that Dr. Mohn said. If your shift ends at 4, it's 4. That's it. Can you come in for extra shift? No. For you, mom? No, you can't. You need the extra money. I get it. Then you might have to get the help. Your friend might have to watch your baby for a little bit while you do those extra hours if you need the money. But if it's just because your job says they need you and you want to be a team player, no, your team player mode is I show up for work every day. But Dr. Mohn, can you tell me what's another way a woman can balance being mom and career?
Well, I recognize the boundaries that are important. If your job loses you to death, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to post your position within a week or two, and then to get somebody else. Your family loses you. It's a total different.
Yeah,
you can't post for a new you. Nobody will be able to replace you. So,
exactly.
Recognize what's important. Like Monique said, ask for help when you need help. Take a step back if you're feeling overwhelmed. Take care of you, meaning you have work on one side, you got the kids on the other. How are you practicing self-care? How are you making sure that, you even have the energy or confidence to continue to be a good mom and a good employee? You got to put you first and recognize what you need to be successful, doing both. That's what I would say.
Okay. I think, what I'm also going to say here is, also is with a part about the motherhood for you to remember, you need a boundary, not even just with the job, right? Sometimes it's with your children. Like when your children start to get older, Dr. Mohn, when they go into that teenage phase, they start to feel themselves a little bit too much. And they get a little out of pocket sometimes. Yes. And you might have to set the boundary. You will not talk to me this way. And if you keep talking to me this way, we're going to take some things away. Or let's say the situation, maybe you're not with the dad. Well, you're going to have to go stay with your dad for a little while because you're not going to keep doing this to me. That's the boundary too. That's motherhood too. That's the balance. Because see, I'm going to tell you why. If you don't do that, you're stressed out. You're upset. You don't know what to do. You're overwhelmed. That means you're not performing at work either. that means you're not taking care of the other children like you want to either because you're so stressed with this one. So it might mean that you need to make a hard decision with your children. So what I'm going to say, the balance is making sure you got a boundary.
Yes.
And realize you might need help. The help might also be a course. Maybe you need to take a parenting class. There's nothing wrong with that. I think I'm glad that they have them now. You might need to take a class to show you how to have a better balance, to show you how to balance both. That's helpful too. And nowadays they have online courses. They got videos. You got books. You got so many avenues to help you balance mom and career. And it's okay to do both. There's nothing wrong with being a working woman, a working mom. Don't let anybody make you feel guilty because you chose to do that. And don't let everybody make you feel guilty because you chose, no, I wanted to stay home with them for a little while, for a couple of years. That's okay too. That is still balancing, in my opinion, Dr. Mohn. That's still balancing both.
No, absolutely.
But, Dr. Mohn, what are the benefits, if anything, to being able to balance mom and career, can you say?
Happiness, peace. You feel accomplished. You're enjoying what you're doing. You're able to enjoy having a successful career and enjoy watching your kids grow and being a huge part of that. Very little stress, and I want to double down on what you said as far as the parenting classes, because I'm sure that there's going to be some listeners who are going to be like, seriously, a parenting class? But yes, a parenting class. I'm thinking of going to one myself because I got some teens and some preteens in my home, and this new generation, the way you communicate with them has to be different, whether you want to or not. I'm my parents are from the old school, and so am I. And so I'm just kind of like, respect is a big factor, but the way in which these kids think now, we don't understand. So I want to double down on that, Monique, because I really like what you said right there. I think it's important. If you are having issues communicating with your kids, then please take a parenting class. You will learn so much.
Yep. I think it's nothing wrong. Remember, there's no perfection, right? But that doesn't mean you can't improve. Stop thinking that you're perfect, mom, because that doesn't exist. And stop thinking that you don't have areas to grow. And listen, Dr. Mohn mentioned parents. My parents from the same era, but listen, our parents made some mistakes, right? That we know that shouldn't have been, right? So you don't want to repeat that thing. I don't think they had those type of classes back then. And if they did, our parents probably didn't have access to those classes like that. So I think it is fine to get a resource to help you become the mother that you want to be. The best way for you. Again, it's not about perfection, it's about doing things a better way. Okay? Because there is balance there. And that means you have to learn. I'm amazed that we could learn about a career, Dr. Mohn. We could learn about a job, a license, all that. We can go to school, right? We, like us with therapists, we went to school, did all the licensing and all that. But you can't learn how to be a better mom?
Right.
How does that not exist? If we can learn to be a better anything else, we can also learn how to be better moms. You can learn how to be a better mom, So that's what I have to say with that, is just make sure you're balanced with that. Make sure you set boundaries, because it'll be helpful to you. Because let me tell you why. Let me just be real. I think one consequence if you don't want your child later on to say you were a terrible mom. You weren't there. It wasn't even about you being in the house. You just weren't present. Who wants to hear that? I don't think that's a good consequence, right? I don't think anybody wants to hear that, Dr. Mohn. So that is the consequence. If you don't find balance, Dr. Mohn, I think a consequence is your children are going to feel it. They're going to say, well, later on, no, you weren't really that great to us. Is there another consequence there, Dr. Mohn, if you don't find balance?
I'm sure there is, Monique, but that's what I would have said, is that you never, the worst thing that I could ever hear is that you're never there, or you're a bad mom. And our kids are very forgiving. So my thing is, you're going to make mistakes along the road. You're not going to be perfect. But the fact that you were always there, or tried to be there, that's what they're going to remember.
Exactly. Well, before we go ahead and leave you, I want to say, listen, I respect all moms out there. You're doing a phenomenal job. I know you're trying to balance everything. You're trying to make it work. Listen, just continue to make a try every day. So before we leave you, I'm going to turn over to Dr. Mohn, unless she's going to leave us with our quote for today.
Okay, so here's our quote for today. I think moms put a lot of pressure on ourselves trying to balance it all. It's never going to be perfectly balanced. The sooner you know this, the sooner you can relieve some of the pressure you put on yourself. And this quote was by Denise Richards.
All right. So thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast. We appreciate your support, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.